Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Okay, so I hope you have your petty tea, my royalty. But yeah, this is gonna be kind of another. That's gonna be a mixture because remember, I'm as messy as my life. But yeah, I'm going to be talking about why I broke up with Mr. Lakaki, the racism within our country. So it's going to get political, dating nightmares, and kind of a mixture of other things. So it's going to be kind of a story time, but with like, other examples, because it's really funny how right now we have like so many Republicans are getting caught within their racism while saying they're not racist or while trying to say, well, it's not me. Oh no, I'm a victim because I got caught saying hateful, awful, like bigoted things online. No, I'm the victim. Oh no, no, look, I'm gonna have one single tear come out of my eye. See, I'm the victim. Yeah, they say like they act and do stupid stuff like that. And then you see like the colonized women tears and everything, and it's just like we know how everybody falls for that trap. Don't fall for that trap. It's like, especially when they were the racist, awful, terrible, bigoted people, but then when they get caught, oh, I have to cry, and because then they're gonna feel bad for me because I'm a colonizer woman. That's what we do. So, but one example is Miss Masher. Oh my gosh. My ex's Mr. No Heart's mother. I mean, Mr. No Heart, he ended up like he's someone who like I would never want to spend any more time in my life with him, but I would need to investigate him more because it's crazy how, and this is one reason why I say, look at the profile so hard. And if they don't show much, or if majority of what they show is of their vehicles or their dogs or their houses or cash or something, like run. And it's like with my ex, he had pictures of him, but now that I'm trying to think about his profile, I it's like I could tell like my self-esteem was so low because I got excited because it was a guy my age who also liked anime. And I think there were like two or three other things within his interests that we had in common. And especially a lot of guys usually don't like women. Like I've met guys who are like, oh, you like anime? That probably means you're a lesbian. That probably there's something wrong with you. Yeah, women aren't supposed to be watching like anime. That's a man thing. That's masculine. I mean, and part of me just like, okay, like whatever my sexuality, if I'm attracted to you and I like you, isn't like, because I mean, I think sometimes when I think men are scared if women are in the LGBTQ, they feel threatened because they already know that they haven't succeeded much in life. And so they're scared that they'll be able to lose the woman not only to men, but possibly another to a woman. So, and that would just strike their ego. That would just hurt and just stab the crap out of their ego so much. But when I first met him, like I asked the guys, like politically, where do you stand? And I know years ago, like men used to laugh. And like some of them, they're like, "Oh, you're stupid." Oh, like I mean, they still say I'm stupid, like because I talk about politics, because I care about politics, and I do my research and I try to keep up as much. Like I mean, for my mental health sake, like I have taken like I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna listen to music while I work on my candles today. I need a break because just all of the stuff they are doing and they are enjoying the suffering of people right now. And it's like knowing the history of America, it surprises me but doesn't at the same time. I like studying and knowing the good and the bad and the ugly of this country, knowing the cruelty, especially to black and brown people. But it's really funny how a lot of the brown people forgot, or the brown people were just like, oh, we're going to be just like the colonizers. So that way we can degrade and like put down the black people as much as possible. And it's like, because now we're going to be one of them, but they didn't realize, yeah, no, they were going to allow you to help them bully us, but at the same time, when once they don't need you anymore, they're going to deport you as quickly as possible. But some of them are just now learning that while they are being deported, while they are being chased down the street. It's kind of it's kind of interesting, sad but interesting, because so many of them all of this time were like saying black people were over exaggerating about the racism within this country. And it's like now some of them are finally realizing, no, we knew our reality. We were telling you. It's like you didn't want to wake up. And then since Fox News and Newsmax and all the other Republican they were telling you it's bad to be woke. You obeyed and you stayed asleep. And now the only reason you're being awakened is because you're being chased down the street. And you have to, like, even with your kids, some of you are nervous to even send your kids to school because now ICE does not care. It's like at first they didn't go into the schools, but now in some of the states, they do not care. They will drag that child out. I have seen footage and videos and some horrific things. Like there's times where it's like I have to change that, like what I'm watching, because I am livid. But anyways, my ex, he told me he was Democrat. He told me. And ladies, even if you have to ask every month, even every week, for especially the 30, 90 days, because that's when a man will have their mask up. And the thing is, my ex, he held the mask up for a year, a little over a year actually. There are so many things he lied to me about. Count like, and the same thing with even Mr. Lockakey. But with Mr. Lockakey, I already didn't want to date him. And that's why he literally had to force me to date him. He knew, like, I mean, I think, and a lot of men, they're really good at seeing women who feel weak and defeated and their self esteem. And so that, and I know it's probably going to end up being a 2 or 3 parter, maybe even a four, but it's just, it's really sad and crazy because with my ex, Mr. No Heart, I asked him the politic questions. We talk about politics. I would play political like episodes on my laptop and things. And for a full year, he was like, well, the first 30 to 90 days, he would even talk and debate because he knew that's what I liked. I mean, he would do things that I would like until he was like, oh, okay, I've got her. I don't have to worry about it anymore. It's like, since she walks strange and no one else is going to want her, it's like I've worked hard enough to the point where she doesn't want to leave me. She won't break up with me. Or we weren't official even, but he was just like, she'll stick around, because it's like no other man is going to put this much effort, especially with how she walks. That's how I know I'm not wrong. I like, I mean, there are so many examples and situations that happen where once you put all the pieces together, he lied to me from the start, from politics to even, oh, you want to adopt? You want to be a foster mom? That's cool. That shows you have a big heart. That's what he said the first night we met. The first night we met. And even while I was looking for jobs and things, I would mention how, yes, like I'm gonna be looking for work and I want that 9 to 5, but if I can just get enough work so I can at least and start, because I knew, like, I learned from my parents to invest money and things like that. So I was like, I want to invest my money and I want to start a business. So even when I find the 9 to 5, I come home, work my small business for the extra money and everything like that, because especially if anything happens to that job, I have a backup. And it's like if I create the website and if I organize everything correctly, then it's like each day it'll be like 2, maybe 3 hours of work, go to bed. Over the weekend, it's like clean up around the house a little bit. But if I plan each week what needs to be done with each project, you know, bada boom, bada bing. So it's like he knew a lot of my goals. But then once we hit that year mark, oh, you're going to try to start a business? You think your ideas are good? I can come up with better. I can do better. Oh, you think you're going to actually do something? Who's going to buy your products? He wouldn't say this all in a day, but these are the comments he would say throughout until he wanted to start a business. Then, oh yeah, we're gonna do amazing. We're gonna do great. Let's make sure we team up together. Yes, like I promise you. And then he gave me tours over and over again. And oh, don't worry. It's like my credit's bad, but with your credit, it's like I'll pay you back. Don't worry. Didn't put one penny. Not one. This man owes me at least 2,500 to $3,000 at least. At least, because that's not even including the interest. That's not even including all of the other items it took for me to like get everything together. And then so much time, like he told me that he wanted to start this business. And so I was doing everything the legal way, making sure to get the certifications and everything and the paperwork and even like going to get trainings and going online and then even looking up ways to market. And it's like, or because with the product, it was just, it's not like every other product or whatever. So and then, oh, driving to different locations to see if we can have our product there. It's like I did all of that, spent hours, only for him 6 months later to walk into the kitchen of his house and tell me, oh, we're done. I'm done with it. I changed my mind. I never got a penny from that. Not one penny. And then with the kids, around year 2 or 3, oh, you want kids? If you want kids, it's over. It's like, yeah, that's a cute thought that you want to adopt, but I don't want kids. My kids were a mistake. Do you know how many times this man told me his kids were a mistake? At least 8 to 12 times. At least 8 to 12 times he told me his kids were a mistake. And I remember that being a red flag, but year 1 and 2, he was like, "Oh no," he's like, "Yeah, even though I feel like they were a mistake, if you want kids, those will be your kids." It's like, if you want to be a mom, that's your choice. But then year 3 and 4 came along. I'm not going to tolerate any more kids. I have my kids. You should have had kids years ago. It's like that was your fault. It's like, yeah, I know you were trying to do it the Christian way, but it's like now it's like I hope you learned your lesson. These are the things he said. And even when the Saturday he called me and said, can you come over so we can discuss it? And I was like, okay, so now you want to talk about it? Because I was ready to break up. I was like, you know what? It's over. But then he called me saying, yeah, let's talk it over. No, that's not what he meant. When I drove into the driveway, because he told me to call him when I got there. And so I did. He walked out with a box of my stuff, put it in the, like he got into the car, or first he put it in the back seat and got in the front seat. And he said, if you want the kids, it's over and you can just drive away now. But if you realize that having kids are going to be a mistake, we can stay together. I'll take your stuff back in the house. And this is while my walking is getting worse and I'm scared that I'm going to be alone and that my mother was going to be right that as long as I walk like this, no one's ever going to want me, love me, or marry me. So I felt stuck. I felt trapped. I felt deceived. I felt tricked because at the beginning, because I went over all of this, and this is one reason why now I put it in my dating standards. Because if a man is going to start off with those lies like that, nah, no, it's like I'm not going to be as nice as I was with this jerk. And one reason I was so nice was because I felt like this is the best I'm going to get because so many men are worse. They tell me, "Oh, so you have these degrees but you're really dumb because you can't even walk right. Oh, so your parents must have not loved you because they didn't even take you to a hospital to get fixed. Oh, I bet the only reason you want to date me is because I work at the factory and I have good health insurance, so we can try to get that walking right. That's the only reason you want me. As long as you walk like that, I'll be embarrassed to be around you. Those are the things I heard while dating over and over and over repeatedly. So now that I was finally dating a man, but then that man he didn't want to date me, he wanted to date what I had. Because he saw that I was investing. He saw that I was saving for a house. He wanted what I was going to have. That in my chest. Those are the only things he wanted. And then he said I was not allowed to say he didn't love me when, Same man who refused to go to my mother's funeral. The same man who refused to go to the hospital when I had major surgery. I begged him. I begged him. And even with all of that after my surgery, I already told the story, but yeah, when I caught him, oh, I caught like I there's so many lies I caught him in. He still doesn't think he thinks I'm so dumb. But if we sat down and talked about and rewound our relationship, he would realize how many times I caught him in a lie. How many times he deceived me, how many times he tricked me, especially when it came to having to meet his family. His father, I think, like, I don't know where he stands politically, but I will never forget the time when his dad came into town and I got to talk to him. And because even with him, he was like, oh, there's no more racism, blah, 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 blah. And so then I would start telling him about what I've been through and only a sample of like some of the stories, some of the things I've been through. And on Facebook, he wrote me and he apologized and he said how much he learned and how much he has not paid attention to the world or society around him. And he thanked me. His mother, on the other hand, who that bigot. She is a racist, awful, terrible bigot, in my opinion. In my opinion, of course. But okay, yeah, because this is when I'm going to spill the tea because some people say, oh, well, if they dated a black person, they're not racist. That's stupid. Because remember, slave owners slept with their black slaves and they were racist. Yeah, some of them had relations. Some of them had even like relationships, but they still owned them. They still had power over them. Hmm. Yeah. And even with some of the, yeah, well, I'm going to talk about a different day, but it's really funny how, and And that's one reason why, like, even especially now when it comes to dating and politics, I make sure I talk about politics as much as I humanly can right at the beginning. Right, because there's so many men who, oh, I love black women, blah blah. Okay, well let's talk about civil rights then. Okay, because especially after what CK said, like civil rights was a mistake and different things like that, and all the terrible things he said about black women. Okay, let's see what you think about black women in education and being able to run their own businesses and things like that. Let's talk about even just an array of different diversity, equity, and inclusion questions. Let's see if you pass my test. Because a lot of these men, no, they want our figures. They want our bodies, but they don't want our minds. They want our bodies, but they don't want what's in our heart, what's in our theories, our hypothesis. They want to devalue us by dehumanizing us, by using us. But that's about it. That's about it. And with Miss Masher, I don't really have anything much to say nice about her because you guys already know the most popular. And if you don't know, catch up. I was like, I'm actually gonna try not to say that one in this episode because I've said it over 100 times. I have over 500 episodes now, so I've probably said it over 100 times. But here are some other things she said. Okay. I will never forget when her and her oldest daughter had the nerve to try to call me a racist because I said that I agree and I understand Black Lives Matter. Yeah, but when she called me a racist, I'm like, how am I racist when I'm saying Black Lives Matter? And I was like, did I say only Black Lives Matter? It was a whole deal to the point where my ex then told me to block his mother. And see, this is what I'm saying. Even though you date someone that is black, doesn't mean you're not racist. Because instead of defending me or at least calling me to get my perspective, he just told me just block her, just leave, like just don't talk to her. Whenever I would go up north with him, especially when he trapped me into having to go up north with him, this guy, when I say he gaslights, like he dropped out of college, but he should get a degree in gaslighting because the manipulation and everything he did, the lies, and just because even when his vehicle got repossessed, and it's like because I think it was only like year two that I like maybe a year and a half or 2 years. And so like one thing I learned from Mr. Lockakey, do not loan money to men. Yeah, and I mean I forgot that like because I think that's another way where Mr. No Heart tricked me because after he paid me back from the car repossession, because I asked him to ask his mom, and he was like, "No, my mom's not gonna allow it. Oh, she's gonna be so ashamed. She's gonna like." He kept saying all this garbage because no, he's such a mama's boy. That woman would have just like she would have driven like the hours to just literally hand the money to him. So it's like I know he tricked me with that because he also tricked me with that because loaning him the money and him paying me back is like now he's proven that he'll pay me back. So now he's going to ask for $20 or $40 2 or 3 times a month, sometimes every week of the month. But he's going to tell me, remember, once I get my life together, I'm going to pay you back. I'm going to pay you back. And gas alone, not even including the business portion, this man owes me a little over $1,000. No, possibly no. It's closer to 2,000. It's closer to 2,000. Yeah, has not paid me a penny back with that. But with the politics of it all, with his mother, I would never like. There was one time, like because after I had to see her and she said some of the racist, awful, terrible things to me in my to my face, and he didn't defend me. That was a red flag. That was oh. But then he was like, I remember when I talked to him about it, and I think he was shocked by that. But he was like, "Oh, my mom is stupid. My mom is so dumb. Oh, don't pay her any attention. She's just so stupid. My family's dumb. They don't know anything about politics. They're stupid. They're dumb. Leave." It's like, don't be friends with her on Facebook. She's just going to show you how dumb she is. But now I'm wondering, I kind of think that he said the same things about me to her. Because whenever he told me I had to go up north to see them, even though he would always tell me that, or because I invited him over to see my parents over 20 times, and yeah, he always, yeah, either he would not answer his phone the day of when he told me he was going to come, or he would make up a reason on why he couldn't come. Yeah. But then at the end of our relationship, he would have to, just like Mr. Lockett, like, see, men do this. Men would, like, even though they are the reason why certain things happened, they will turn it around on you and blame you in a heartbeat. And they will go to their next girlfriend or wife and tell them that it was the woman's fault. It's like, oh my gosh. Yeah, because yeah, even with Mr. Lockakey's wife, she had no problem calling me the N word and saying, you wouldn't even let him meet your parents. Nah, because he was addicted to special candy and he like forced me to be his girlfriend. And I didn't want anything to do with him in that light. I said we could be friends because I needed friends because I didn't really have any real friends. I thought he was going to be a real friend. And the next thing I know, he stole from my wallet, stole from my purse in order to force me to go over to his house, in order to force me to be his girlfriend. That's how we started dating. And then each time I wanted to break up, he told me he was going to eliminate himself from the earth if I broke up with him. But she blamed me and called me the N word quite a few times. Quite a few times. Yeah. But back to Mr. No Heart's mom. Because with the Middle Eastern community, do you know how many times I had to put her on check? These Middle Easterns, they're good for nothing and they're doing this and they're terrifying and they're just trying to hurt us Americans and they're blah, 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 and all this other stuff. And so I'm like, you know that sounds a little racist, right? Yeah, yeah, her and her family couldn't stand when I would catch them in their racist, like belittling, derangement, like type of comments on Facebook. And so when I would start commenting, and I'm like, because I'm just like, and you just posted something about like a Christian quote or some mess like that. What about love thy neighbor? What about all the Bible verses about love? You're not showing any love right now. You're not showing any love right now. And then even with African Americans and crime or whatever, oh, all they want to do is crime. All they want to do blah blah blah. And I'm just like, oh, that's all we want to do. But then when she's face to face with me, oh, well, you're not one of them. That's not what the popos think. That's not what the police think. Nope. Oh well, it's like, well, they just they had to be careful, so that's why they had to pull you over because you know how your people are. But how come all of your kids got arrested, but not my siblings and I have never been arrested? But you're trying to stereotype me, but your kids have done stuff that's not legal. And then speaking of that, her and my ex would brag about how they used to, you know, puff puff pass 420. This was years ago when it wasn't legal. When it wasn't legal. So it's like she would admit to both of them doing illegal activity. But then stereotype my people, put down my people, and just say that's all we do. And even when it came to the substance that was being sold, that's the only business you guys need to run. Your son is the second highest seller in your city, in your area. That's what he told me while we were dating. And he was so proud of it too. He was so proud of it too. It's like having an illegal business, and it's like, and his mom was proud of him of that, but then would have the nerve to put down black people. And it's just like, excuse me, what? Like, you're contradicting yourself right now. And the fact that a lot of these black men have been arrested is because the slave catchers, now called police, they want to catch the black people. They want to catch the black people on purpose. And even with education, you guys already know what she said. But then sometimes I wonder if it's out of jealousy because her son dropped out of college. See, he couldn't get a degree in what he, works for, but he could get a degree with gaslighting. He could get a degree with lying and deceiving and being manipulative. That is, those are the degrees he should go back to school for, because that's all he did within our relationship while lying and saying, I love you. No, you don't. No, you used my body, my wallet, my belongings, my car, but you never cared what was going on in my mind. But okay, I'm going to need a part two. Thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human and you're human too.